Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. It's a quick little blurb like I did, and I just finished recording my IQ reaction. It's a quick little blurb like I did for that one. Apologize if I sound, a little bit low energy or just a little bit out of it recording this. Last week has just been kind of uh, draining and just like it hasn't been a great week mental health wise and some other stuff wise, so just feeling kind of low energy this past little while. So apologize if I'm not super coherent or super energized recording these videos, but yeah, hopefully this will wear off by next week and I'll be back to normal. But in the meantime, I'm all at like 50 to 60% normal capacity, so we'll see how that goes. But without further ado, let us dive into the One Piece chapter. We're at chapter 961, The Mountain God Incident. And we have more of the Gang Badge cover story with Volume 11, These Guys Have Suffered Damage of Some Kind. And you see Vito just holding on to this guy. Looks like he's fainting. And he's just got kiss marks everywhere. And you see other men just running off in the background. And you're wondering what's happening. So it's probably going to be... Oh, Lord. Okay, no, something just struck me. Oh, boy, I hope this is not a callback to Colleen from Dressrosa now, like going out and trying to look for a husband or something. Alright. I almost feel like 90% sure this is going to be some kind of Colleen joke. But we see a Zadoom, as you see a shadowy figure just rampaging through the flower capital. And you see people running away as Kinemon is just hiding in this alley, going, is it really going to wreck the entire capital just for this little piglet? And you see the piglet going, snork, snork, pwee, pwee. Kinemon's like, hey, pipe down, oinker. And you see Oden coming up and just tugging the pig by its ears and going, I told you to give that boar to me. Kinemon's like, hey, wait, this boar's going to turn into 1 platinum for me. I need to pay off various debts, and then I'll use it to win a small fortune that'll... And you see Denjiro just going bum 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 as he's just in awe of Oden. And he's like, that's Kozuki Oden in the flesh. I have no respect for any of the stupid adults in the world except for him. And you see a bunch of people running away going, the only time the mountain god ever comes down into human settlements is when one of its children has been abducted. And you see what I assume is a priest just waving around, the little paper dispelling charms. And he's going, then someone's bought this child into the capital? White boars are the agents of God, but any incidents are so long in the past that many people today believe it's just a folk superstition. We must calm the mountain god's anger. Find the little white boar. It must be returned to the mountain lest the city be destroyed. And you see a snork snork as a giant boar is just tearing its way through the town, just chomping down on houses. And you see people going, aye, it's gobbling up people and houses and all. And you see someone's gotten trapped in the rubble going, help, somebody help me. He's like, daddy. He's like, someone help, my daughter's in the boar's belly. This is a nightmare. And you see one of the bandage guys coming up running, found it, there it is. And Kinemon's like, you're the boar napper. And the guy's like, you boar napped it after us. Take the white boar back to the mountain. That monster's coming right for us. It's following the piglet's scent. We never thought this would actually happen. My 2 buddies had the scent of the boar on their clothes. The mountain god ate them. And he's like, huh? Kinemon's like, ate them and your friend Osuru. Kinemon's like, what? It's like, we were going to steal the white boar back from you, so we took her hostage when we were coming down the mountain when... And you see Osuru going, let go of me. It's like, everyone got eaten, and it's all your fault. And you see Kinemon getting all mad as he drops the boar and he pulls out his sword. Excuse me. And he goes running towards the boar and he goes, that monster's coming right for us. It's following the piglet's scent. He's like, here it comes. And you see Kinemon just standing in the street facing it down. And it goes sniff, sniff, humph. And it notices the smell of the boar piglet on him. And you see Kinemon thinking back to Osuru, going, he stole from you again? I'm so sorry. I'll pay the full value right now. Get a job, Kin. If you keep getting chased around by Kyuza, you're gonna die one day. And you have Kinemon going, that's fine. Who's gonna miss a guy like me? He's like, give Suru back. And he's just running in with the sword. And you see Osuru just hitting, going, ah. And you see Kinemon getting hit with rocks. Like, ow, don't hit me with rocks. As Osuru turns around because Kinemon is a dumbass. And, we have to play out the whole joke of woman is interested in man and man is too clueless to understand it. And you see Kinemon just leaping onto the boar's snout and cutting a giant gash into its snout. And you see, as the boar is just smashing his head into the houses to try to knock him off. And you see a drip, drip, and he's like, yeah! And you see he's plunged himself right into a cut above its eye. And he gets sent flying with a kabam. And the priest's like, stop that boy. If you harm the mountain god, Wano itself will come to ruin. I'll slice your belly open. And the Kinemon goes, I'll slice your belly open. Give Suru back. You call yourself a god? The pig gets all outraged and goes, snork, snork, and slams his snout into Kinemon. And Oden's like, that guy's got guts. And Denjiro's like, you gotta stop, Kin. And you see Kinemon just getting tossed around into a bloodied mess as the boar just kind of turns away and runs off. And just does more wrecking in the capital. You see Kinemon going, if Suru dies because of me, then I want to die too. And then you see someone calling, isn't this what you're after, boar? And you see Oden standing in the middle of the street, hoisting the boar in one hand above his head, sword on his shoulder. And you see the priest going, Kozuki Oden, the prodigal son. It was him once again. He caused all of this to happen. And Oden's like, I feel like boar stew. And you see people just throwing rocks at either the boar or at Oden. Going, give back my mother. How can you do such awful things? I want my daughter back. You think Kinemon going, no, it wasn't him. It's my fault. And she snark, snark as the pig comes running towards Oden. And he goes Oden two-sword style as he pulls out Enma and the Ame no Habakiri. And you see the little piglet running off with the wee, wee. And you see a snork as Oden goes Paradise Waterfall. And you see him pulling a Zoro and a Ryuma as he managed to completely bisect the pig in half. He just completely cuts through its teeth and its everything else. Like it cuts through its teeth and its tusks. And you see all the citizens freaking out at this display of power. As Oden's supposed to look like a badass. And you have Denjiro just freaking out, Bartolomeo eyes as he's seeing this, and Kinemon watching in shock. And you see Hiro going, very impressive. Let's go, boys. And you see a crash. And then you see they said that the people and buildings swallowed whole by the beast made a full-size town of their own. The capital lost an entire quarter of its size, but there were miraculously no fatalities. Of course there wouldn't be any fatalities. Why would there be? And you have Osuru coming up and going, oh, Kin, wah. And you have all the other samurai going, Oden sure looked cool. Oh, I should thank him, but I can't. It's his fault this happened. He's the bad guy. I almost screamed because it was so awesome. And you have Kinemon going, everyone, listen to me. I'll tell you the truth of what happened here. With a bang. And he's like, huh? And then you have a gonk as Oden just knocks him out and he goes, don't do anything stupid. And you see the Kozuki retainer going, it pains me to have to give this to you now of all moments. And Oden goes, wah ha ha, so I'm disowned, eh? Banished from the capital. A laughable move, Shogun. All this means is that you know the flower capital itself is unable to contain my greatness. And he goes, disown away. I shall cross to a new river bank wherever the sun sets. That shall be my bed. He goes, I'm hungry now. He said, clack, cluck as he goes, takes off. And you see the mountain god incident happened when Oden was just 18 years old. And you see Osuru looking Kin being like, "Are you crying, Kin?" And he goes, "No, I'm not crying." It's like, "Listen to me, Osuru. I would die for that man." He's like, "How is that not crying?" And you see tears just streaming down his face. And Denjiro's like, "Agreed." He's like, "Hey, wait up, Denjiro's like, I was infatuated with him first." "No, I'm infatuated more. I'll be his first follower." And you see some of the other samurai thinking, "Must be nice to be as free as they are. I wish I could go too." And it's like they say that the one hesitant step of all the men who wish they could go with Oden, with caused. They say that the one hesitant step of all the men who wish they could go with Oden caused the capital itself to tilt ever so slightly. And you see in Hakumai Wano, "Right this way, Lord Oden. An honor to meet you, sir. Lord Yasue is awaiting you eagerly." It's like, "Liar, he hasn't been waiting for me." And you see Daimyo Hakumai Shimotsuki Yasue. And he goes, "That's right, I haven't been waiting. Who would wait around in hopes of seeing an idiot banished from the capital? What do you want, Oden? Oh, and you're important enough to have followers now?" And he goes, "Oh no, a puddle of water. Now, safe sirs, tread upon my back." And you see someone coming in from the side and landing with a splat in front of Yasue. And Oden goes, "Get rid of that one, uncle. He's a little creep." And Yasue goes, don't call me that. That's my new manservant." "Yes, my lord, I'm honored to be in Lord Yasue's service. I am but a humble manservant by the name of Orochi." And we see the humble beginnings of the man named Kurozumi Orochi. And we have next chapter hits November 17th, so One Piece will be on break next week. Oh boy, alright. Surprising no one. Yeah, I still am not feeling Oden. Like, this entire chapter was Oda pulling in old tropes that he's used before in the series, and which he's trying to kind of put a new spin on, but it's not really a new one. Because you have, Kinemon and Osuru almost being like Scarlet and Kiros, where Osuru falls in love with him, and like he's got Kinemon's like the rascally rebel that does whatever he can to survive, and he doesn't realize how much the woman loves him, and the woman turns around and she does everything she can to try to make him a better man, blah blah blah. And it all falls so flat again because we really don't know anything about Kinemon's life before this, or his relationship with Osuru before this, to kind of give it the emotional depth Oda's trying to kind of go for. Because he's like, Oda's just gone with the hint of like, oh, they're old childhood friends and blah blah blah, and like, oh, look at what Kinemon's doing, the lengths he's going to try to save her. But it's not really, because we have no emotional investment in Kinemon at this point. His feelings towards Osuru kind of fall flat because we don't really care about him as a person. So why do we really care about his relationship with Osuru apart from, oh, look at them, they're adorable, friends to lovers, blah blah blah. So like, yeah, that fell flat. Then you have, of course, I think reading some forum posts and stuff last week, I think a lot of people actually called this that we're probably going to see every few chapters Oden running into one or two of the scabbards together, and then he'll help them out of some kind of predicament, where they would have taken the blame and the fall for it. And Oden, already being the outcast, will be like, oh, hey, I'll take the blame on myself instead because everyone already hates me, and based on that, they'll be like, oh, Lord Oden, we love you so much because you're so noble and kind and etc., etc. But again, like this is just a rehash of all these old tropes that Oda's done before, but there's no real heart behind any of them so far. Like we're obviously going with the angle of, Oden may be a rebel, but he's a good guy. That has got good intentions, and he's not really doing any of this, to be a dick. It's just kind of the way he is, which kind of almost has Luffy vibes, where he's just like, I'll do whatever I want that guarantees me the most freedom, even if people look down on it. But in the end, I won't do anything completely amoral, or anything that'll actually get me branded as an actual criminal or an actual asshole. I'll tiptoe that border back and forth, but I won't actually cross over it too far, because I need to be, super likable and all that. And so, like, at this point, the cutting the dragon's head off, or cutting the giant mountain boar in half, has kind of become the, oh yes, look, this is how we know the person is a badass. They cut something giant in half. Woohoo! Look at them go. They're so cool. But again, like, all of this falls flat because Oda, again, this is a consistent problem Oda has, where he has, oh no, a giant something is attacking and the citizens are in danger. And the end reveal turns out, oh, but don't worry, they weren't really actually in any danger at all, and they all got out miraculously unharmed. Like, this is like the Land of Dead on Punk Hazard. This is like the Birdcage on Dressrosa. You know, this was like, this is just like a repeat of so much stuff we've kind of seen before. And so, like, I don't want to completely write off the flashback just yet, in the hopes that Oda's going to do something more unique with it, but nothing that we've seen so far kind of screams that there's going to be some kind of payoff to all of this so far. And Oda, again, like in this chapter, is overselling how much everyone worships the ground Oden walks on. It's just like, Oden's just like, oh, I killed the giant boar. And everyone's like, oh my god, Oden, you're the man. Oh, we love you so much. Like, it seems almost effortless, like it seems effortless to how much he just is so universally beloved by, the retainers and by everyone else, just for kind of being, you know, kind of the stereotypical idea of what you expect, a manly man to be like. And this was something I talked about a little bit on Twitter, which I want to kind of address with this arc, is that I think for me the biggest problem with Wano thus far is if you take away all of the Japanese aesthetic from this arc, take away the soul, the samurai, take away the Japanese like houses and everything else, and like the designs. This arc hasn't done anything to differentiate itself from any arc that comes before it, which I know is kind of a weird complaint to have about One Piece being like, oh, this arc is not unique to the series, kind of given what Oda recycles over and over again. But, I mean, like, going back to my point, if you take away all the Japanese aesthetic, there's nothing about this arc that would say, uniquely say this is the Wano arc of the series. And if you just transplanted the central conflict of this arc in any of the other ones before this, I'd be kind of hard pressed to say why, what makes this stand out from the other arc, and what differentiates it from the ones that have come before it. Because we've got the central kind of conflict, right? Wano's got a crappy ruler, not really that unique. All right, the Wano ruler, has a group of people that he's not feeding people on, that he's experimenting on. Again, not particularly unique. and all the unique aspects of it that Oda has introduced, like, the idea that samurai have, the spirits of the samurai are imbued into their swords. And, it is sacrilegious to desecrate their graves when they've been buried with it and to use their weapons because it's more than just a tool. Or the idea that, Wano has a caste system and, the ones that are higher up in the ranks of the caste eat better, live better, whatever. Oda hasn't really explored what that means or what that looks like in Wano. So, like, all right, there is a caste system, but what are the different ranks in the caste system? How did it get made up in the first place? Who belongs to which one? What's different? What roles and identities are the different people in different castes given? He hasn't really explored any of that thus far, and maybe that's something he will address, in this flashback now that we found out that, Orochi's a street urchin, basically, that was bought into Lord Yasue's uh, employ, and is basically, we're going to get the eventual reveal that something will have happened. Orochi will be like, I deserve better, and then he'll team up with Kaido to take him out and all that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, this arc and everything Oda's done so far feels like he's going through the motions and he's ticking off a checklist saying, a good One Piece arc has to have, a conflict of this. It has to be an evil ruler. There has to be, the good guy that was unjustly killed. You have to have the, shoehorned in romance. You have to have in, the retainers that we have to care about who love Oden and all that. But it doesn't feel like he's really putting in the effort to try and make this arc unique or trying to make this conflict unique, and he's just trying to skate by on the fandom's kind of, like the goodwill he's basically built up in the fandom. And I'm honestly not saying all this because I'm just be like, I want to shit on Oda and be like, oh, how dare he does this, crappy job, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying he's a bad person for being like, here's the same meal I fed you over and over again. What do you want, something different? It's me saying, yeah, he's feeding us the same meal over and over again, but each time he does, he's using slightly shoddier ingredients to build that same meal. So maybe at first you didn't initially notice discrepancy between, that really juicy burger that he served you the first time, but now you kind of taste that, the bread is stale, the lettuce is starting to wilt, the tomatoes are all, the tomato isn't crisp, stuff like that. Terrible analogy, I know, but it really feels like Oda isn't trying anymore. And that's not something I'm going to blame him for, because a lot of the fact that it feels like it's being rushed kind of ties into what we've learned about Oda from, the past few years, in that he's gotten health reports from his doctors telling him he needs to take it easier if he wants to live longer. He needs to stop overworking himself so much. So I'm totally fine with, with him needing to take breaks and like needing to rush certain story points or certain story elements or arcs because he has so much left to cover before the story ends. And he needs to kind of do that before his health deteriorates to a point where his standard of living after he finishes the series gets really, really low. And I don't want him to reach that point ever. But it also feels like he's also deliberately, kind of holding himself back a little bit and making it worse for himself, where he starts introducing, new plot points, new characters, and everything, kind of making it harder for him to tie up all these loose ends he's already created. But yeah, I don't know. I hope that the middle to ending of Wano ends stronger than the beginning has been so far, because it's usually almost the exact opposite case with this other arc. So the beginning and middles will be usually pretty strong, and the endings tend to kind of taper off. But yeah, got to see where this rest of this flashback takes us, because so far I cannot say I am thoroughly impressed with what we've gotten, but yeah, we'll see. So I'll end my rambling bits there. So just a quick little note slash update on this. I am going to try to have put together a One Piece stream for the second week of December. So we're tentatively looking at December 8th, and I've already got four other people lined up to kind of talk about, the Wano arc thus far, because we're almost about 50 plus chapters into the arc so far. So I want to kind of get, gauge other people's thoughts on the arc so far. See if there's things they love that I don't, things they hate that I like. Kind of get a consensus on what Wano, how people have seen Wano thus far. So if any of you are interested in potentially wanting to be a part of that discussion, if you have thoughts that you'd like to get out, if you disagree with a lot of what I've said, you want to counterpoint it, feel more than free to hit me up either here or on my Twitter, and just let me know you'd want to be involved in this discussion. We can totally try to fit you in. We probably can fit in at most two more people, I'd say, before it gets a little bit too unwieldy. But I would definitely love to have some more diverse opinions in on this. And maybe, someone will manage to change my mind about the way this arc has gone so far. So like I said, hit me up. But apart from that, I'm going to cut it off there. If you like my videos, please do, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Just so I can put out more content on this channel, hopefully on a more semi-regular basis going forward. Until next time, this is Ash. I will talk to you all later.